Hi everyone, we are so excited to announce our first podcast episode of Cafecito con LMSA. We have been working on this for so long.
It's been in the books for a while now.
This has been in the works for a minute, but we are so excited that it is finally real. I'm so happy to be here with Melanie and Fabian, and we're so excited to bring to you guys this episode. So cheers to our cafecito. Okay, so just a quick intro on who we are. We are the undergraduate chapter of the Latino Medical Student Association at UF. We are all undergrad pre-health students. I'm here accompanied with our executive board members, and we're going to do a little bit of our introductions to each other, but this podcast is here to just help serve our members. We want to be transparent, give any advice possible, really just be able to help you guys out in your pre-health journey in any way that we can. So, do you guys want to introduce yourself, a little bit about you guys?
Sure. My name is Melanie Rodriguez. I'm a third-year public health major on the pre-medicine track, and I'm currently the vice president of the Latino Medical Students Association.
Hey guys, my name is Fabian. I'm currently a second year. I'm the secretary, and I'm double majoring in biochemistry and biotechnology and pursuing a certificate in music and medicine. So, I'm so excited to be here.
And I am Mariana. I am also a second year. I am also a public health major, and I am this year's public relations manager for LMSA, so I do like the Instagram and all that fun stuff. But yeah, we also are accompanied with Bojo. I don't know if you guys can see him.
He's our founder.
Kind of want to address the elephant in the room. There is a dog wearing an LMSA shirt.
Yes, he's the founder of the Latino Medical Students Association.
Literally.
So, yeah.
Okay. And so really for this first episode, we really want to talk to you guys about like our biggest advice, biggest life lesson, things that we have learned in our time as pre-health students. We're all pre-med, but I would argue that any of our advice can really be used to all pre-health students or in general. Like I feel like depending on your major, you can also take this advice. So, I don't know who wants to kick us off with, like, their biggest advice, biggest life lesson, regrets, etc.
My biggest advice for anyone that's pre-health or anyone in school really is that, like, comparison is always going to be your biggest enemy, especially in a competitive field like medicine or pre-health. You just have to remember that you are your own person. Your journey is different from everyone else's, so never compare yourself to anyone. Like, you guys are going to meet people that already have 2 years worth of research experience or people that have like 200 clinical hours already, and that's okay. Like, everyone's journey to post-grad is a lot different, and some of us like to focus on other stuff. Like, a lot of us are really involved in a lot of organizations while other people like to prioritize their GPA in their school, and that's okay. Everyone is different, so never try to like compete with your peers or never like bring yourself down because you feel like you're behind, because I promise you, you are just on like the same boat as everyone else, and you're gonna get into med school or whatever grad school you are applying to, so don't worry.
Do you have like a specific like instance of like a time like you compared yourself and you were like, okay, I can't be doing this anymore?
Yeah, so this is pretty much like my first semester at UF. I came in and I was just a student, bro. Like, I don't know how people can do all these clubs, like meet all these friends. I was just a student. I was like, okay, I'm taking my classes. That's what I'm here for. Like, this is my 9 to 5. Like, I was surviving, not thriving. And there was people like in my first semester already like part of these amazing organizations. People already like actively doing research, or like people that are like PCAs at Shan. So I felt really behind, but it was towards the end of my first semester at UF that I like joined LMSA. I got my amazing mentor Enrique. Shout out Enrique.
Yeah,
and like I met a bunch of other people that were in like the similar case that I was, where like it's okay to not have research or like publish by the end of your first year, because like realistically everyone else is different. So yeah, I like told myself that upcoming spring semester that to just like trust myself and that everything is at its time. So yeah, I like stopped bringing myself down for stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you like 100%. Like I know it's such a cliche and it's easier said than done, but truthfully, comparison like is the thief of joy. Like I'm guilty of it, Melanie. Like I'm sure you're guilty of it. I'm sure like the people behind the screen have felt it. Like it's just I don't understand why it's like so inherent for us to just be like I don't want to compare myself to people. Like
Yeah, well, I think it's because as soon as you tell someone that you want to pursue medicine, they're like, that's really hard. Like, it's
yeah,
super competitive. So it's kind of ingrained in us from the start, like, you need to be better than everyone.
yeah,
When that's not necessarily the case. Like, you just need to be the best version of yourself. And that looks different for everybody. But I think as long as you're passionate, like, truly passionate about what you're doing, and you're committed to medicine and, like, the healthcare field, that pays off.
What Melanie said also has to do a lot with like our background. So like being Hispanic and Latino, a lot of us are first generation. Like some of our parents didn't even like go to college and stuff, so we don't really have those connections or that background in medicine to kind of help us and get that foot in the door. That's why it's like so important that we find communities, kind of like the LMSA community here. And I know there's a bunch of other organizations out there that provide you guys with like amazing resources. So it's definitely like very important that you go easy on yourself and remind yourself like, hey, I'm already at a disadvantage. I'm doing what I can and I'm doing like what's possible. So yeah, give yourself that pat on the back because you guys have truly like a lot of you guys have done a lot, have made do with the little that you guys started with. So that enough is something to be proud of.
And that actually ties into the advice that I was going to give, or my biggest piece of advice for pre-health students, which was to like actively seek out mentorship and not be afraid to like reach out to people who are further along on this journey than you are. I know, like as Fabian sort of mentioned, like there's research, there's clubs, there's community service, like there's a lot of things that are sort of expected or placed upon pre-health students, and it can get extremely overwhelming trying to navigate all of that. I know I would have had a much harder time like trying to figure out where to focus my attention if it weren't through the mentors that I gained through LMSA. And that's, you know, I think mentorship is extremely important. That's why we have our Grandes y Pequeños program, so you get paired up with somebody that has like the same goals and aspirations as you. It can help you out along that journey. I know like past LMSA presidents, like past e-board, older members have all been extremely vital to my, I guess, like success or me surviving this pre-med journey. So yeah, just having that sense of community, and also just people like being able to look up to someone and saying like, they did it, why can't I? Like, it's possible, is just really reaffirming that you belong in this space.
yeah. I definitely will say sometimes I feel like people get nervous like to ask those questions, you know, out of just like social anxiety, you know. And I will say sometimes like some people, it's like my experiences, sometimes like some pre-med, pre-health people aren't the nicest, and they can be very like,
Yeah.
like
They be gatekeeping, bro.
We can do a whole episode on toxic premium culture.
Literally
Coming
soon,
Yeah.
coming soon. And so I'm so sorry if you've ever had that experience, like where you tried to reach out to someone and they gave you like a weird response or they were rude to you. But like truthfully, like once you meet, there's just some people that are just so open to you. And that's honestly like, remember when I was a freshman and like I came to LMSA, I just loved how like open everyone was. Like everyone was like, hi, my name is X, Y, and Z, like I am in this club, I volunteer here, I do research in this lab, and it's very open that like a lot of people just like are so hush about that stuff, which is sad. But trust you, like reaching out, like generally you can reach out to any of us, like we do not gatekeep, like
We do not.
we
Yeah.
are very open and honest, like with any advice you may need, want, etc., etc. My biggest piece of advice is definitely to have like a better mentality towards school. They're laughing because I had a really bad like fall semester and they got like a first row seat, especially Fabian. Fabian got like a front row VIP access to like my mental breakdown last semester. But I was definitely the type, I low-key still am working on it, but I'm definitely the type of person that will put school 1,000 times before I put myself. And like I think we're all guilty of that to some extent. Like, you know, if we have an exam coming up, we'll stay up late, or you know, we neglect meals because we just get so locked in on school. And that was generally the person who I was, and that literally led to like the worst semester of my life. And when I look back at like my fall semester, I was like, it really wasn't like that difficult. It was just so difficult mentally, and I let that translate to like my academic performance, not just my academic performance, but also like my performance in some of my extracurriculars and things like that. And so I definitely would just say like yes, I know it's something, again, easier said than done, but truthfully, like, you are a person, you deserve breaks, like, studying isn't the most important thing on planet Earth. Like, trust that your performance is the same if you don't study than if you don't sleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I worded that right,
that
but
makes sense, yeah. That work-life balance, keyword is balance, is so important because yes, having that discipline to like study all night or whatever is important, and like I don't know, sometimes it's necessary like for the organic chemistries or like the physics, whatever you struggle most, but you can't make that your whole life. I saw this TikTok the other day and it was like we need more normal people in medicine, and I think when you just completely consume yourself in your studies, you kind of become like an academic robot, and then you neglect your hobbies, you neglect like the things that previously brought you joy, and then we're left with another robot doctor who doesn't like have joys outside of medicine. So I think it's important that we become the normal people in medicine. You know, medicine, it's a passion, but it's also a job, and it should not be your entire life. I don't think, you know, at least I don't think it should be. I think it should be a large chunk of it, but like you should have things that you enjoy outside of that academia. It's necessary to survive, to get through it, find joy, crochet, do art, paint, play video games, start a podcast, come to LMSA events, like hang with your friends, do what you need to do. You need those outlets in order to be like the best possible healthcare provider in the future.
Mental health and mental wellness, and just like any sort of wellness is also like really important. Like that work-life balance that they mentioned, like give yourself time to go to the gym if that's what you're into, give yourself time to hang out with your friends, like, and you shouldn't feel guilty, because that's something that a lot of us struggle with. We have this guilt that like, oh, I'm sitting here yapping with my friends when I should be studying. Like, no, you shouldn't feel guilty. You should allow yourself those breaks and be like, hey, I already studied for 8 hours today. I'm going to go out with my friends and have fun. And that's perfectly normal, because burnout is like a real issue in this field. So like, we hate to see you guys like get so burnt out because all you do is study, 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 and fall into this mentality where you're like, oh my God, this is all I do. I have no fun. I have no free time. So just make sure to give yourself those breaks, and don't ever like feel guilty for prioritizing yourself, because I mean, it's like Melanie said, at the end of the day, this is going to become a job that we are pursuing. And while, yes, we're very passionate about it, we shouldn't let it consume us. So always make sure you're giving yourself some time off. Yeah.
I will say, like, I remember I was talking to, like, there was one time me and Melanie, we were volunteering at, like, an ultrasound clinic, and the provider we were working with, she was, like, on, like, the, medical school admissions committee for, like, the school she worked at before coming here. And she would tell us that one of like the main things she would ask like her interviewees was, so what do you like to do for fun? And genuinely, like, she was like, the amount of people that were 4.0s, 528s on the MCAT, 3,000 clinical hours, 3,000 like published in like the NIH and all this, would like choke in that question. And she was like, that to me was like, I didn't care what your stats were, I didn't care what you wrote in your personal statement. If you can't tell me what you like to do, like, you have no depth to you. And she genuinely was like, I don't care. People could have told me, like, I like to go eat Chick-fil-A with my friends after an exam. I like to go to Chili's. I love Chili's. I love Chili's.
Triple dip.
Chili's knows us.
Oh god, Chili's knows us. So yeah, just like I don't know, get in that mentality of like, I'm a person, like I have a personality. My profession, I'm not my profession. Like I am so much more than that, and we can't even like start to make our profession our personality choice when we're not even employed. So
that's like, true.
So yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah, you need to enjoy the journey.
Yes,
it's long, but like exactly, like since it's so long, you need to make it pleasant.
You can't hate your 20s.
Yeah.
You can't hate your 20s.
Yeah.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Something like that.
We have a long way to go, guys. Make sure you guys live it up and have fun, because I mean, it's like they said, we have like what 11, 12 more years after this. So trust me, you guys, we'll get there. We're all gonna get there. Like it's never a question of if we're gonna get there. It's a question of when. And until then, we need to enjoy every second of it. So,
and I feel like every semester it brings like its own challenges.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and be like, oh, like it's gonna get better after Orgo, because like or the semester after Orgo is gonna bring its own challenges. The semester after physics is going to bring its own challenges. This, like, after you're done studying for the MCAT, that's when they're challenged. Like, you can't just constantly be looking at, like, the light at the end of the tunnel. You kind of just have to, like, be like, yes, I'm going through something rough right now, but, like,
so nice.
like, there's also good things happening.
Yes.
Like, the sun is out, the sun is shining.
Yes.
Like, I get to hang out with my friends, I get to film a podcast today.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the other thing, like, it's 4 years, you don't have to do everything at once. Like,
yes.
you can break up your time, you don't need to do the research, the volunteering, the leadership, the clinical hours, the 4.0, the MCAT studying, all at the same time. Like, take a breath, divide your time, it makes it a lot more manageable, just kind of, like, chip away, little by little, and you'll be at the end of the 4 years, and you'll be like, dang, like, I kind of did a lot.
Literally.
Like, you do more than you think you do.
Yeah,
So-
And you're gonna miss it. Trust
Yeah.
me. I have yet
Yes.
to meet someone who says they don't miss their undergrad years. So.
No, actually, like, bro, like, I'm, like, you know, I'm reaching, like, my halfway point, and I'm like, what do you mean?
We're reaching Unk
We're
status.
Yeah.
We're reaching Thea status.
Yeah.
How do you feel now being your
Let's not.
Senior year?
Let's not.
senior years
That's-
around the corner?
Yeah.
That's another episode.
Another episode coming
Literally,
soon.
we can make full episodes about everything we've discussed today. Like,
Oh, Bojo is like, I'm done.
stressing Boyo out, bro. Okay. Yeah, we can make full episodes about toxic pre-med culture, about work-life balance,
The gatekeeper.
about
The gatekeeping,
gatekeeping, like,
the gatekeeping pre-med student.
trust will have content.
Trust, we can go on and
Yeah.
on about things like that. Is there any other final thoughts, comments? A little good first episode, I think.
Yeah.
I hope you guys liked it. Did you guys have fun
Yes.
filming?
Drop
with
a
me?
comment.
Comment,
Like,
like, subscribe.
hit that notification bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow our Instagram at UFLMSA because we're active on there, and we'll let you guys know whenever we're posting. If you're interested in possibly being featured, you can feel free to message our Instagram or anything of that nature. If you have any episode, like you really want to hear about that gatekeeping pre-med student, we'll make it the second episode we film, okay? Anything else?
I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank
We
you
love
guys.
our LMSA
We love you
familia.
guys. We love the LMSA familia. Thank you guys for sitting with me, Melanie and Fabian, and obviously honorary Pojo. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys during our next episode. Bye, guys.